Good morning this morning. How are you this morning? Just fighting off the last part of this cold. It's on its last breath, so thank God for that. And it could be a little bit warmer outside, a little more moisture in the air. It's about as dry as a desert here in 15 degree below zero weather in Minnesota. But some lovely things have happened, and I just want to briefly go through them. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe, and we're just going to go through some of these executive orders that were signed. Full list of Donald Trump's executive orders signed on Inauguration Day. Just go right to this point. Trump signed a number of other executive actions at Capital One Arena in D.C., where he addressed supporters in the late afternoon. The first one they mention here, Trump officials immediately shut down the Biden-era Customs and Border Protection app that allowed illegal immigrants, that allowed illegal immigrants to apply to legally enter the United States seeking asylum. So I'm glad that was turned off immediately. Saw the video of that lady crying at the border because she couldn't get across. Don't care. The recession of 78 Biden-era executive orders. The regulatory freeze preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of the government. A freeze on all federal hiring. A requirement that all federal workers return to work in person, full-time. Directing all agencies to address Americans' cost of living crisis. Withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement. A directive that federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech, preventing government censorship of free speech going forward. A directive of federal government ending the weaponization of government against political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen. And that's a great start. And we're going to go into a little more specificity here, but that's a great start. That's a great start. Unfortunately, these things were necessary. I'm not for executive orders. It reeks of tyranny, but you've got to undo the terrible work of the past. Trump signed an executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship. He also signed an order designating Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. This I'm going to touch on a little bit later in the video. He also declared a national emergency at the southern border, allowing him to use federal funding to construct a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border without congressional approval. And that is a big one, he said there. Climate and drilling. The president signed a number of executive orders withdrawing the United States from key agreements. I'm immediately withdrawing from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord, Trump said Monday at the Capital One Arena. The United States will not sabotage our own industries while China pollutes with impunity. He also withdrew from the U.S. from the World Health Organization, which will deprive the organization of millions of dollars in funding. Hundreds of millions of dollars, actually. In the Oval Office, Trump pointed out that it was $500 million the United States paid to the World Health Organization every year. China paid $39 million. 1.4 billion people, 1.4 billion people, 39 million. 350-ish, give or take, with all of our illegal immigrants, million people, 500 million. As Trump points out, that math just don't add up. Tariffs and taxes. Trump fulfilled his campaign promise to impose steep tariffs on countries like Canada and Mexico, saying that on February 1st there will be a 25% tariff on imports from both countries. He also signed an executive order saying that the global minimum corporate tax deal supported by Biden administration, negotiated over 100 countries, has no force or effect in the U.S. and without an act of Congress. So he's saying Congress needs to approve it. He wants to open up ANWR, and he eliminated the Biden-era EV mandate. So I wonder if that also means he's going to be eliminating the tax break for buying that electric vehicle. If that's the case, then that's going to hurt Tesla a lot. We'll see how Elon responds with that. But ICE vehicles are back, baby. Internal combustion engines. TikTok, he saved. Transgender rights and DEI. in one executive order, clear and acute language that policies will recognize women are biologically female and men are biologically male. That the U.S. government recognizes only two genders, male and female. Sounds good to me. Coordinate and terminate all discriminatory programs, including illegal DEI and diversity, equity, and programs, mandates, policies, programs throughout the federal government under whatever name they may appear. So DEI swept clean. Funny one here. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico and other America First priorities. The Gulf of America. I think it's cute. More importantly, creating DOGE. Trump officially created the long-anticipated Department of Governmental Efficiency on Monday evening. He did so by changing the name of the United States Digital Service created in 2014 by Obama to the United States DOGE Service. DOGE will oversee substantial reduction in the size and scope of government and operate within the United States government, Semaphore reported earlier, citing a fact sheet it had viewed. Cut, baby, cut. Drill, baby, drill. Cut, baby, cut. Cut it out. One of the most amazing things I've always found is that when you have like one of the major blizzards of the nor'easters hit Washington, D.C., and they say non-essential personnel need not show up to work, those are the people you cut. They're not essential. You yourself said it. If they're not essential, why are we paying them to be there? Makes no bloody sense. The security clearances of those 51 intelligence officers who claimed the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. Drain the swamp. Flags on Inauguration Day. That's a good one. How many executive orders did he sign? And this just goes into that. And this is going to just kind of bullet point a few of them. A lot of them we will have already talked about here, but this is from NPR. Declare a national emergency at the border. Ordering the armed forces to finish construction of the border wall. Clarify the military's role when it comes to the border. Seeks to clarify the military's role in protecting the territorial integrity of the United States. That is policy of the United States to ensure that the armed forces of the United States prioritize the protection of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the United States along national borders. The order envisions a greater role for the military and border security, including directing Defense Secretary to deliver a plan deploying U.S. Northern Command forces to the border. About time. This is something that should have been done a long time ago. There's no reason the United States military should not be used on our own border when you have drug cartels who are as heavily armed as military crossing that border. We've seen video of them with Javelin anti-tank missiles and surface-to-air missiles. Armored trucks with 50 caliber machine guns. That's not something the Customs and Border Patrol are going to be taking care of. Secure the border. Designate criminal cartels as terrorists. That's going to be my last subject here. Suspend refugee resettlement. So no longer can you say that you're a refugee. End birthright citizenship for illegal immigrants. If you're here illegally, how the hell do you get the right to have a kid here that's an American? It doesn't make any sense. Guarantee states' protection against invasion. Protect American citizens against invasion. Reinstate the death penalty for federal crimes. Now, as you know, I am so absolutely pro-life that I do not support the death penalty. I don't. If you're pro-life at birth, how can you be pro-death at any point? That's why you make love, not war, baby. Designate criminal cartels as terrorists. The White House designated criminal cartels and other foreign terrorist organizations as specifically designated global terrorists, two separate legal definitions. This allows the United States to more easily remove members of groups like that group there and transnational criminal organizations from Venezuela and MS-13. The order is meant to enhance vetting and screening across agencies, which United States officials had earlier mentioned as a separate action. The designation as a terrorist organization has a lot more scope than what this NPR article is saying. And this is why this is going to be the final subject of this video. Once they have been named as a terrorist organization, that also puts them under the scope of the global war on terror. In the last Trump administration, there were flippant talks about bombing or attacking some of these Mexican drug cartels. This order actually just made it legal.